We are still a country in development, so we have a rising middle class and a growing population. And this drives the demand and the interest in education. So we have a lot of families that are sending their kids to school for the first time, and a lot of adults that are going to study in higher education institutions also for the first time. So there's a huge demand for education in Brazil. We have achieved very good numbers of quantity, so students attending school. So we have today almost 100% of the population in K-12 goes to school. Now we're very much focused, Brazil is very much focused on improving the quality of the education system.
So the so-called China dream basically means the return of China to the global scenario as a global power. However, during this process, we all have noticed that this is a country where the human resources are not at the speed or not the height for its needs. And this is such in a fast-change society like this, and where China wants to return in a global scenario as a power, and it definitely needs some very critical thinking mind and creative thinking minds, while it has realized that this current the current education system is not capable to produce, and therefore we need to make some changes here. That's why it's called a comprehensive education, system reform.
In the 21st century, we're facing a lot of challenges at the societal, personal, and economic level. And if you think about it, education systems were tuned for a world of the Industrial Revolution, and that has served us well. But it's now facing a new challenge of the digital revolution, for which we need to adapt. And education systems are falling behind not only in about how we teach. Of course, there are plenty of people working on how to teach better, and that is absolutely a necessary endeavor. But we also have to pay a lot more attention to what we teach in the first place. We see technology becoming a de facto attribute that everybody has to know about, if not master. And similarly, we're seeing the importance of humanities and art in the context of design and simply life enjoyment as well. And so we're seeing the requirement rising for everyone to become a Renaissance person, a neo-Renaissance person.
The drivers of learning in India, to a large extent, are influenced by the fact that tomorrow's India, many of the youngsters are likely to have multiple careers within their 40+ years of professional life. It is not that you got trained as an engineer and you remain an engineer all your life.
As I mentioned, in India, the focus on learning has always been towards job-oriented skills. We've always wanted to have the skills that employers want in us. Now, what is changing is, in the past, one could learn a skill, one could get a degree, a master's degree maybe, and then you have skills for life. Then you get into a job and then you are set for life. Now what is happening is that the skills that a person needs are changing so fast, the requirements are changing so fast because of technological innovations, that a lot of effort needs to go in to stay updated.
Singaporeans are very strategic. They have an eye on the future. They know which way the economy is growing. They would like to glide in together with that kind of evolving economy. So they are willing to retool themselves, relearn, unlearn, learn again, going to new territories, etc. So if I were to comment on the technological innovation that is going to bring about a change in education, it is going to be online blended learning, where people have the ability to package programs for themselves and do it at their own time, pace, etc. and place, for example. Singapore people like to work. They don't want to be unemployed. They like to work, right? So from the comfort of their own homes, in their own time, they would like to use technology for learning. And I think online blended courses that are heavily modularized will be very important. The heavy modularization is needed because different people will have different ways of learning. They would like to learn differently and so on. So what people will do, I think, in the future is they will package their own courses.
If you're going to San Francisco,
the students are different. The students are different from the one that we used to have 10 years ago. They learn in different ways, and we need to provide them with the tools adapted to their learning techniques and strategies. And that's why we decided to really incorporate technology in our teaching to keep them motivated. Why did we have to bring coding in the class? Because it's giving the students a sense of a motivation to learn, because it gives them a concrete way to do math, to do logic activities that will result in something they can relate to. Software, applications, small videos, that's what you want to do. The schools will not disappear. They will just look completely different because they will not be the sole place where students will be able to learn. So blended learning, I believe, is the path of the future, and is a path also to a much more equal world, because the internet has done one drastic thing. It has allowed everyone to learn.